Right now, in 2026, the average American household is paying $1,500 more per year than they were just 12 months ago. Not because of anything they did, not because they bought more stuff. It's because of tariffs. Most people have no idea how that actually works or what it means for their financial future. By the end of this video, you will. Before we talk about your wallet, let's make sure we understand the weapon being used here. Tariff is simply a tax on imported goods. When the US government puts a tariff on something, say, steel from China, American companies that import that steel have to pay an extra fee to bring it in. Now here's the part most politicians skip. That fee isn't paid by China. The Chinese company doesn't pay it. The American company importing the goods pays it. And guess who that company passes the cost on to? The consumer. Think of it like this. Imagine your favorite restaurant gets hit with a 25% tax on every ingredient it imports.
Oh.
Do you think they just absorb that cost? No, they raise the prices on the menu. You pay more for the same burger. That's exactly what's happening at a national scale right now. The US has placed tariffs on goods from dozens of countries, affecting everything from electronics to food to clothing to car parts. How $1,500 ends up in your bill. The mechanism, so how does a trade policy turn into $1,500 coming out of your pocket? Economists at Deutsche Bank ran the numbers. Tariffs at their current levels, some as high as 25% on goods from major trading partners, add up to roughly $1,500 per household per year in extra costs. But it doesn't feel like one big bill. It's $40 more on your grocery run, $200 more when you buy a new phone, $300 extra on car maintenance, $60 more on kids' clothes. It's death by 1,000 small price hikes. And here's what makes it worse. These price increases don't just hit the finished product. They hit everything in the supply chain. If steel costs more, cars cost more. If electronics parts cost more, laptops cost more. If shipping containers cost more, because tariffs are disrupting global trade routes, everything gets more expensive to move. This is what economists call a ripple effect. One tariff creates a wave that touches products you'd never even think to connect. The recession connection. Collation. Pattern interrupt now. Here's where it gets serious. I want you to pay close attention to this part. As of this week, 65% of Americans expect a recession in 2026. That's not a fringe opinion, that's a majority of the country. The signals supporting that concern are real. When prices rise because of tariffs, consumers spend less. When consumers spend less, businesses earn less. When businesses earn less, they hire less or lay people off. When people lose jobs, they spend even less. And around it goes. Economists call this a demand shock. It didn't just make things more expensive. You made people afraid to spend. Consumer confidence is at its lowest since March 2020. You know what happened in March 2020? The Federal Reserve is now caught in a trap. Normally, when a recession looms, the Fed cuts interest rates to stimulate the economy. But they can't do that right now, because cutting rates while inflation is rising would make prices even worse. They're stuck. And that means you're stuck too. This isn't panic. This is just understanding the machine. Quick pause. If this is making sense to you, it took me a long time to find content that actually explained this stuff clearly. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. I'll back to what happens next. What could happen next? The payoff. So what are the possible outcomes here? Let me give you 3 scenarios and I'll be honest about which one I think is most likely. Scenario 1. Tariffs get rolled back. If trade negotiations succeed and tariffs are reduced or eliminated, prices stabilize. The recession risk drops. This is the best case scenario, but it requires political will and international cooperation. It's possible but not guaranteed. Scenario 2. Tariffs stay, but the economy adjusts. Over time, American businesses find new suppliers. Domestic manufacturing fills some gaps. Prices stay higher than before, but stop climbing. The economy slows, but avoids a technical recession. The new normal is just more expensive living. Scenario 3. Tariffs stay, trade war escalates, recession hits. Other countries retaliate. American exports get hit too. Farmers, tech companies, manufacturers all take a hit. Consumer spending collapses, unemployment rises. The Fed is forced to choose between fighting inflation or fighting recession. This is the worst case, and right now, the probability is higher than most people are comfortable admitting. The OECD, that's the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, is already projecting U.S. inflation could hit 4% this year because of global trade disruption. What you can actually do, actionable takeaways, so what can you do? I'm not going to leave you with doom and gloom without something practical. First, understand where you're spending. If your grocery bill is higher, that's tariffs. If your car costs more to fix, that's tariffs. Naming it helps you budget around it. Second, inflation. Proof your savings. This isn't financial advice, but if you have cash sitting in a 0.5% savings account while inflation runs at 4%, you're losing money every month. Look into high-yield savings accounts or I-bonds options that keep pace with inflation. Third, stay informed, not anxious. The worst thing you can do is make panicked financial decisions based on incomplete information. The best thing you can do is understand the system, which is exactly why this channel exists. We break down the forces shaping your financial life in plain English, so you can make smarter decisions. That's the goal. If you want to go deeper, my next video covers the Federal Reserve's impossible choice right now, and what it means for your mortgage, your credit card rate, and your savings. Subscribe, and I'll see you there. Subscribe to Economy Explained, because understanding money is the first step to controlling it.